tell you? Yes.
I have a question about the presence of the freshwater snails in the area.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that part.
What?
So it says explain why they would be there, just because.
Because it used to be a lot wetter, and it used to be wetter because the planet at that time was much hotter. What else?
It talks about all like the ways that we can limit our contribution to global warming. How much of that is already taken effect?
Negative.
So it's gotten worse.
Right. We've gone the opposite direction.
Have we like done that stuff and then also done worse stuff to make it still negative, or we just have more bad stuff without doing it generally?
Give me the list and I'll let you know the status. Vehicle efficiency.
CFCs, right?
What?
We have CFCs.
We regulate CFCs. So CFCs have gone down, but methane's gone up. Sorry, our emissions of CFCs have dipped below predictions. Where we thought CFCs would do this, CFCs have actually done that. But where we thought methane would do this, methane's done that. So overall, what we call radiant, I can't remember the term. So the amount of heat coming back from the greenhouse layer, the amount of greenhouse gases we've added to make more heat bounce back to the Earth has climbed even faster than we predicted in the 80s.
Have we better insulated our homes like they said we should?
There's probably a trend toward better insulated homes. The problem also is that there's a trend toward more climate control in homes. So despite the fact that homes are a little better insulated than they were in the 80s on average, the CO2 given off per home is far greater on average. So better insulation has not overall resulted in lower carbon emissions from home heating and cooling. To offset carbon reductions in insulation, we've had carbon increases in energy used for home heating and cooling. What else? Car efficiency has gone up. Yeah.
So the rise in sea water is not from melting ice, from thermal expansion?
Almost entirely. About 90%.
The majority is.
Yes. What else? You know, there is a little extra water in the ocean too. But the majority of the sea level rise is, so if it rises 10 inches, 9 of those 10 will be from expansion and the last 1 will be from the extra one.
Okay.
What else? Okay. Say what now? Some. Sea level has not risen as quickly as we thought it would. What were the other ones? I've kind of been zoning out because I listen to this every year. So
10 billion people by 2050, are we still on track?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
We all right now.
Yeah, most people now say it'll be 9 billion because some countries develop faster than we thought they would. In the 80s, we thought China's development would be slow and rapid. So you know that in demographic transition, population grows and flattens. We thought it would grow for a longer period of time.
What about that? But
that was way off.
2010.
That was way off.
2010.
Volume underwater.
Yeah.
So like we would afford, how you would say what would be 10 miles after the increase?
Safe to assume that in some places it's more than a mile.
So we've already lost 2.5 miles.
I don't quote me on that. But I know that sea level has risen a few slower. Anyone else watch the movie? How many of you have already signed up for your classes? And how many of you are planning to sign up today? a lot of my students have been asking me about this, and so I'd like to tell you about a class I teach, which unfortunately the counselors don't know very much about, and most of our other science teachers don't know very much or anything about. I used to teach a class called Introduction to Horticulture. Those of you who signed up already, was there an offering in the science department or in the Green Academy category for small-scale food production?
Yeah.
Is that what it was called, or Introduction to Horticulture?
Small food production.
Cool. So, this is the class I really want to tell you about. Will, you're in that class, and is anybody else here in my zero period class? Okay. So, I teach a class called Small Scale Food Production, and I'm sorry, this is probably the only source of information you'll get in the next few minutes. Period 0, no Wednesdays. The grade is 100% participation, which includes attendance. If you're there daily and you're doing the stuff daily, you have 100% A+. Because the class has no paper, no book, no assignments, no calendar, no due dates, no exam. On the other hand, it is the assumption that all students will share in the work of the facility. You know that we have a big greenhouse and garden complex on campus, and you may know that that complex makes food. We grow a lot of food for the cafeteria and a lot of food for students to take home. We have row crops. We're going to increase the number of fruit trees over the next couple of years, but we have some already. We have some roses, some bit of native garden to support beneficial insects. We have 22 chickens that lay eggs, and next year around this time we will grow the size of our flock so that next year's students will start a separate flock of birds for meat, separate from the ones that we're going to keep to lay our eggs. We grow bees who make honey for us, and next year students will be the first to harvest that honey. Students this year will most likely not be able to harvest because the colonies are still growing. The class is purely elective, and you can split the year, but I prefer that students stay for both semesters. I think it's a much better experience to see one semester and then the other. The biggest challenge for this class is I don't know how to separate the kids who honestly are prepared to do work from the kids that think they want to do work but are going to end up watching other people work while they play with their cell phones. There are some kids who say, yes, food production sounds awesome. And then they show up and they go, wait, you mean I got to get dirty and it's cold out there and my hands hurt because they're chilly and gross worms. Don't take the class if you're one of those. And if you're like down to wake up early and have some discipline and be here at 7 in the morning, which is brutally difficult sometimes, and you're down to put in some elbow grease, it's kind of a rad class. I think it's a really unique opportunity. There's nothing else that I'm aware of in any school system. It's pretty fun. And it's cool, like, stuff through. Yeah, I'm not aware of anything else where you get to go from seed to harvest and watch all this timeline develop. It gets more and more complex over the year. So by now, we've got kids doing some carpentry projects, and some kids who mostly take care of the chickens and bees, and some kids who are solely responsible for moving the chicken tractor when we need the chickens to help us eat the old rows and this row instead of that row. And what else should I tell them about the class? Are there any questions about that zero period class? This is the only way you can get information. The counselors don't know, the other teachers don't know.
And you should definitely take it for 2 semesters if you are taking.
Yeah, I can't stress enough that being there for the fall is like watching the barrel collapse, you know, because the days are getting shorter and the temperature's getting colder, and it's like everybody's kind of dragging to school by the time it gets to be December. And then when we come out of the barrel and start the spring semester, then the days start getting longer and the garden starts speeding up and stuff grows more quickly and there's all these other things going on. And so I think it's really nice to get both of the seasons in there. Both of our growing seasons. Yeah.
You're talking about some of the stuff like harvesting the bees, honey, and stuff like that. Instead of students next year, we're talking about the next school year.
Right. I'm talking about juniors now who enroll as seniors next year. You know, one of the big things for me is that every year builds something for the future students. So this year, the students have done a lot to build on our chicken capacity. I think next year we'll probably focus more on fruit trees and bees because that's going to be, they kind of go together as pollinators. You know, every year we try to focus on something. What else can I tell you? I'd love for you to know more about this class, and I know the school can't really help you, so what can I tell you?
This is like completely unrelated to taking the class, but have you ever hypnotized one of the chickens?
Yeah.
And it works?
Kinda. They calm down, for sure.
When you do like the stack and the line thing?
Yeah. What? Yeah.
A lot of teachers complain about your chickens.
One teacher complained until I killed the rooster. Nobody's complained since then that I'm aware of. No complaints have reached us.
Wasn't discussed.
It was not discussed.
You always hear it.
We're going to run out of choices soon, so I'm going to stop. What else? I'll tell you something. Mr. Golden complains about nothing. He was a priest. He doesn't complain. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, how old is he?
Like 500 years old. What's that? A monk, yeah.
There's a big one.
I don't know. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Forgive my total ignorance of everything. I honestly, if it has to do with religion, I am not the right person. Cool. Anything else about the zero period class? Really, I'd like to clarify. If not, move on.
I think you're good.
Okay, great. I think you're good too. Next. Did anybody not get the little slip in the back? Yeah, that's fine. So I'll tell you something. In the 1970s, this guy wrote a book called Utopia. Please be quiet. In the 1970s, this guy wrote a book called Ecotopia. He is not known for his writing. And so frankly, for those of you that are literary, you may notice it is, I have to admit, a poorly written book. It's not a good book. What it is though, it's a really interesting story. In the book, from the Ventura River north, California, Oregon, and Washington secede from the rest of the United States and become an environmentalist utopia. The book is seriously the most random cobbling of hippie craziness. Like, everybody has like patchwork clothing and they like ride their bikes to work and like play a lot of hacky sack and sit cross-legged and look like we. That is so hot.
When you say Caballero land in our
That's what I'm thinking of, right? There is, however,
you talk to me a lot about that.
Anyway, the book has some stuff that's very clearly 1970s progressive, Anna with a cell phone. Like, women that are like politically empowered and like sexually liberated. But it is actually like a really neat book. Like the society the guy imagines is actually like pretty appealing.